Hey everybody, Jillian here with a brand new Traveler's Notebook journaling process video. So I'm going to be using this TN insert, and if you saw my video last Wednesday, you saw me using these acrylic paint colors in my illustrating Bible as I was working through the confetti devotional kit. Instead of wiping off the paint with the baby wipe, I put it in this TN and was going to challenge myself creatively to use this as a foundation for my next entry. So I'm showing you here my sermon notebook. Those are the notes that I plan on putting into my insert here. And then I've got some supplies pulled out, including these print and pray pieces. So I like to keep a folder of new or partially used print and pray items that I want to use. And so I looked through there, found some colors that would coordinate with these acrylic paints. And that is like the jumping off point for my page today. So I've got my little toolbox there up on my desk. I'm working on my new standing desk today, so that's exciting. I'm slowly but surely putting our home office together, and so that's been fun and an exercise in patience. So I am using some acetate pieces from the third Grace and Gratitude kit that Illustrated Faith released with Dayspring. If the kit is still available, I'll link it below, but really just use whatever you have. That is the underlying theme of this video, I guess you could say. I don't know that I'm using really anything new. I'm just using things like these heart sunglasses are from a print and pray set from Elaine Davis. I already had them cut out because I thought about using them for a previous project, but then didn't. So I was like, all right, I'll use them here. They match. Let's use them. Let's make them work. They were originally printed on the Avery 8665 clear label paper that I use to print things on. So it's on sticker paper, but I wanted it on cardstock so I could layer it over that acetate piece. And so I very easily just put it on some white cardstock, stuck it down, and then fussy cut it. Now it's as if I had printed it on cardstock. Almost. It still has the like sticker paper feel on the top of it. Then I'm just going to look to see where it looks best. I'm going to use it here on top of this acetate piece. I'm going to get it down with the Illustrated Faith tape runner and then trim off some of the acetate that's hanging over the edge. So those are the three anchors for my page. I've already created a little triangle there as I'm used to doing. And then I'm going to use these Kelly Perky label stickers to put some big points for my journal, like the big things that I want to pull out. I end up switching that, but I'm going to put a few more down on the page. So again, just went through the supplies that I had at the ready to pull out colors that matched. Now this stamp set is from Studio Calico. It's by Hello Forever. If it's still available, I'll link it. It's just a really nice, small 3x4 sans serif alphabet stamp. Now I want to stamp out the word celebrate, and I'm thinking about putting it here kind of left aligned, and I'm writing the word out so that I can count how many letters are in it, can make sure that it's spelled right so that I don't forget to stamp anything. There were some stamping errors on here, you'll see as we go on. I thought about maybe using the confetti washi tape, but decided against it and instead went with this old favorite, this buffalo plaid washi tape. And I'm looking here because I'm like, didn't I use this the last time I made one of these videos? Yes, I did. The particular one that I used is no longer available, but I think I found something similar on scrapbook.com, so I'll link that below if you are just loving this buffalo plaid washi like I am. And then I'm going to stamp the word celebrate on the bottom here. Okay, so moving on, I've got the element stamp set that I'm going to use at the end of the video, and then I'm going to continue putting this washi down all over the page. Tearing some in half, like varying the widths of the tape, just creating fun layers. Also, you might be wondering why I used the tiny attacher to get those acetate things down. It's because if I used the roller adhesive, you'd probably see it underneath, and the tiny attacher is just the best way to do that. to get it down. So I will have staples to deal with on the next page when I go to journal next. I'm not worried about it. I've done it before. It's not like a showstopper, deal breaker, a problem. Now in my notebook here, you can see that I have little pencil marks 1, 2, 3, 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, 2C. I went through my sermon notes and I pulled out what I wanted to really focus on and transfer over into the insert. So I typically do that with my sermon notes just so that I make sure I have enough room, and it can kind of help me figure out like space planning on the page. So I'm just referring to that to get myself started and make sure that I have enough room for everything that I want to include. So I'm going to start with my first title, and the large word from that is going to be jealousy, using some really old Studio Calico Tile Alpha stickers. A lot of the supplies I'm going to be using are no longer available. So just, again, use what you have. Then I'm going to use these little wooden alpha stamps to finish that off. And then I'm going to use this Staedtler Lumacolor pen. I like to use this for journaling on slick surfaces like these label stickers or even the acrylic paint. Sometimes writing over different mediums will mess up the tips of your pens. This won't. I swapped out a label sticker there, opting for a smaller one, and then when I removed the original label sticker, it took part of the A that I had stamped down. I went back and stamped it again and accidentally rotated it 90 degrees. So, whoops, my first stamp mistake. So I'm just getting the first part of my sermon notes down, where we look at the idea that jealousy says that God owes me. That is the mindset of jealousy. And then again going through those 1A, 1B, 1C points that I had kind of like pulled out of my sermon notes. I'm not sure why the screen is so blown out here, but sorry about that. I'm going to use these red homespun number stickers to bullet the points that I'm journaling, so 1 through 3. Again, using the Staedtler special pen to write over this satin finish acrylic paint from Target. And now that journaling is done, I'm going to add some more washi tape as a place for the writing to kind of land on so it doesn't look like it's just hanging out there, floating there. Then I'm going to look for a journaling spot to write the next part of my sermon notes on. So I've got this fun printable set from Candace Castillo that's in the Print and Pray shop, and I love these little boxes with the flowers on them. I thought about using them, but they were just too large and were covering up some of the elements that were already there, so I opted for something different. A rainbow grid label. Shocking, I know. But I'm going to go ahead and use this to write out the reference, James 4, 1 to 3, which is part of the scripture that we looked at for this sermon. And then I'll include those notes and finish off my journaling for this page. Okay, so now I've come back the next day and I want to continue on with my journaling. I'm using the 100 Days Toolbox, like typed words. I don't remember if this is the first, second, or third set, but I love using these for building titles because I love the type font. And so I'm going to write out the phrase, God is the source of all good things. And so that phrase, all good things, is what I'm going to use 3 different items to get down. The first are these simple stories alphabet stickers, again, super old, and I like the white ones because you can customize them. I didn't have the yellow that I was looking for, so I just used a Faber-Castell brush pen in dark Naples ochre to go ahead and color those guys. And then I've got this word good printed on clear sticker paper, and I'm just trying to figure out its placement now. I'm going to move it around a couple times before I finally land on what I think looks best and fits. So again, going back to these wooden alphabet stamps, I think I got these from Hobby Lobby a while ago, and that's the third item that I'm going to use to spell out this title. And then you'll see me move this yellow word all over a little bit. Now I'm indicating here that it looks like these two things run together. Jealousy, all good things, which is not the idea at all. So I want to put something in there to divide those words up. So I'm looking at some printables here. What do I have available to me that I can use? In the meantime, I got a little sidetracked and saw this pink paintbrush, and I was like, oh, this is great. We should include this someplace. So I'm going to go ahead and get that guy cut out. And then I end up finding a spare piece of this buffalo plaid washi and putting it in there. So I don't know that it effectively like breaks up those two ideas, but I know what it's supposed to say. And really, isn't that all that matters? So I'm going to move on and put this paintbrush over to the right here and kind of have it going off of the page, trimming off the excess. And I just think they look so fun together, that little cluster up there. Then I'm going to continue on with my journaling. Next up, I'm going to reference another passage. I'm just checking it in my Bible here to make sure that I have the right one. And I'm going to use these really fun Doodlebug alphabet stickers. The font is called Abigail. If they're still available, I'll link them below. But I'm going to use these to spell out the reference for Ephesians 2, 4-5. And you might be thinking, well, Jillian, I can't see the teal on top of the teal paint. And I'd say, you are right. I can't either. So that's why I'm going to take my Staedtler pen and outline them very carefully with, I don't know. I just lost track after trying to imitate Elmer Fudd. Sorry. There is no dash mark or anything like that, so I'm going to do some surgery on this pound sign, hashtag, whatever you prefer to call it, and I'm going to use that as a way to note that little dash mark. Alright, so now that that's outlined, I'm going to continue on with my journaling, and I really like that we have the resolution to that bold and quite frankly offensive statement up at the top left that says God owes me. And so I'm writing here underneath Ephesians 2, 4, and 5 this idea, this truth that God does not owe us anything because he gave us everything in the gracious gift of his own son for our gross, selfish, sinful hearts. Now I've got this word celebrate stamped down at the bottom, and I thought it would be appropriate to go through some of the leftover bits that I have from the confetti devotional kit from Illustrated Faith, and since they're celebration themed, to use some of those for this page. So I'm going to use some of the stickers that come with the kit, a lot of the stickers that come with the kit, and then this little red circle that says yay. I wanted to make this banner work, but it was too large and a little bit redundant right there down in that little space. So instead I go with this circle that says yay. And I'm going to layer her right there. And then I have another little acetate heart left over, so I'm just going to layer that on top of this circle and use the tiny attacher to keep that in place. Then I'm going to use this smaller wordfetti sticker that says celebrate and layer that on that little label underneath the adorable sunglasses. And then finish my journaling. So again, I'm going to look to this confetti sticker sheet and put a lot of confetti down on the page now that I have all of the must-haves down on this spread. So there's a lot more white space than I usually have when I create these guys, so I'm looking, do I want to use this printable from Shauna Noel in the Print and Pray shop? I didn't want to because it was like fall themed, so instead I'm going to use the confetti from that sticker sheet after I get another puffy cross down. I couldn't not put one next to Ephesians 2, 4, and 5. And then I'm just going to go nuts getting this confetti down. But first, I'm going to layer underneath that this dotty stamp, spotty dot stamp from the Elements stamp set. That's an oldie but a goodie, a classic really, from Illustrated Faith and Bella Boulevard. I'm going to use the back of the sticker sheet as a mask so I don't get it on the right side of the page, and then just stamp this around wherever I think it needs a little something to fill it in. I'm even doing some like off stamping or second impression stamping where I don't re-ink it every single time when I go to stamp it down again. And then again, just putting the confetti everywhere. because the antidote for jealousy is to celebrate. Celebrate others and their success and their whatever they have that you want. Celebrate them. Don't wait until you feel like it to celebrate, but celebrate until you feel like it. Choose not to be controlled by your emotions. And that's addressed to me. This isn't addressed to you. I don't want you to feel like I'm bossing you around. So I think the last thing that I do is put a date stamp down. I'm using the Illustrated Faith Date It roller date stamp, and there's a little knob you can turn on there that has just different things to precede your date stamp. And in this case, I switched it to sermon to indicate that these are sermon notes I'm journaling on that day. And so that's it. Here's a finished look at my page. That's it. Here's a finished look at my page. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them below. And if you want to check out the sermon that I journaled my notes from, I've got it linked in the video description below also. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you soon.